All right, welcome. And I just want to do a quick video today on how to create spawn zones and spawn points for your game. So say you want to spawn a bunch of enemies or a single enemy at a specific spot. These are two different options. So let's hit play. I'll show you what I mean. So if we go here, you can see this white circle is going to be our zone where the enemies can spawn. And right away it spawns in one on the spawn point. And as you can see, it's slowly going to keep spawning in enemies. There you go. And now, after the enemies die, so say your player kills all these, we're going to disable them. And the reason we do this is because every time you instantiate something, it leaves a little bit of memory, and every time you destroy something, so it's better to just shut the object off and then move it to a position and turn it back on. So you can see we have all of them that just spawn back in again. And let's take a look at the two. So the first one, let's go over the spawn point. So you can see this white dot. We have a spawn point script, and let's go and edit this real quick. All right, and I'm not going to go through and type it all out, but I'll kind of show you what's going on. So the first thing we have is our prefab. So we just get an object, and we're going. So that's our slime in this example. Then we have our spawned object, and we're going to see this in a second. Next is just a simple timer. That's how long our spawn delay is going to be. So once one spawns or after it dies, this is how long it's going to take to spawn. So right away, we're going to instantiate the first object prefab. We're going to set it to false so it doesn't exist in our scene. And then we are going to start this coroutine. And then in this coroutine, this is going to go on forever. It's going to constantly be checking. And instead of doing this in the update loop, it's going to run every frame. This is only going to run every however many seconds you set your delay. So say your delay is 3 seconds. We're just going to set this to 3 seconds. So we're going to check if our spawned object, so here we created our spawned object. We're going to check if it is active. And if it's not active, then we're going to run this script. So we're going to move the object to the spawn point, which is just wherever that position, wherever your spawn point is in the world. This GameObject.transform position. Then we're just going to set it to active, and then it'll basically do all of its code. And then we're going to just wait for our spawn delay, and then we're going to check it again, and we're just going to do this continuously. And then the last part is this on Gizmos draw. This is just a wire sphere, so it's kind of easy to see where all your spawn points are in the world. So this is the easier one, and the next one also works on the same principle. So you can see spawn point, slime, and our spawn delay. This one works on the exact same principle. It's just a little bit more advanced. So we have a prefab. We have our max spawn prefabs. So if you want to set 10 enemies in this zone, we can do 10. In this little area, I have 3. And we have our spawn delay and spawn radius. If we change this, you can see that our zone goes up and down. So if we wanted to make all of them spawn really tight, we can. Let's take a look at the script. Okay, so very similar. We have our spawn prefab. That's going to be our slime again. And this one we have a couple more integer fields. So we have our max spawn prefab. So this is how many we can spawn at once. Then is our spawn delay, which is the time in between spawns. And then our spawn radius, which is the area that it can spawn in. And now this looks really familiar, except for we're going to add an array. And this is kind of like a list of objects, but it's a set amount. So just think of this as like all of your spawned prefabs. So as soon as the game starts, we are going to set our spawned objects equal to the length, or equal, we're going to create an array that is the same length as however many objects we want. So say we want to have 10 slimes, we're going to set that to 10 slimes. Then this line right here is just going to go through each one of them, saying to create it. So for the spawned objects.length, we're going to create our spawned object. And this I is just referring to what number in this array we are. So object 0, we're going to create, and it's going to be saved in slot 0. Then we're going to set it active to false. And then we're going to go through this loop again. It's going to be the second one, so spawned object 2, and then 3. Until it's completely done. And then we're going to start another coroutine. And a coroutine is just nice because it works off of time instead of having to do it in the update loop, which is a little less inefficient. So we're going to do this while true statement, so it's going to run forever. Then we're going to loop through the length again. And every time we loop through, what we're going to do is we're going to check if the object is active. If it's not active, we're going to create a new array. So we're going to create a array at the spawn point. And then including our spawn radius, so how far it can go out. And then this array is going to cast a vector straight down. It's going to send out a hit point, and there's our hit variable. So our spawn point is going to be equal to our hit point, and then that's going to be, and then I just added this up off the ground a little bit. That way it's not in the ground. Sometimes this can, you could get rid of this section and it'd probably work just fine. I just don't want anything to clip through the ground. And then we have the spawn object. We want to set it to that position, and then we set it active to true. So everything runs again. And after it's spawned, we're just going to wait for the spawn delay. And then once it gets through all three of these, it's going to wait. And it's just going to continue to do this over and over. Same thing here. We're going to draw a wire sphere and then with our radius. So it is pretty simple to get these set up, and you can put anything in here. So if I look for a new, so say instead of a slime, we wanted to have this funky looking dude. Let's hit play, and we'll watch this will spawn in a different object. Yeah, so there you can see it spawned in. We go through and disable it. Boom, it'll spawn back in a little bit. All right, if this video helped you out, please hit subscribe for more, and I will see you next time.